Pratana and start the session. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Annado Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguru Mamatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Om Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. The only guru of three religions, Traitatiram, originator, sensational writer, Hindu virtue donor, the emperor of spiritual kingdom, Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwaran. We are learning Traitatiram Bhagavad Gita interpreted by Sri 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 Acharya Prabodhananda Yogeshwaran. We are learning 12th chapter, Kshetragna Vibhaga Yogam. Last week we learned from 6th Slokam to 12th Slokam. Let us recap what we learned. Let us see what is the meaning of those slokams. The great bhutas like Jivatma and Atma, the non-manifested inward senses like intellect, ego, etc., the 10 senses which are aggregated, and the invisible 5 senses. The aggregate living symptoms like love, envy, pleasure and distress, braveness, fear and interest, and the body which is said as Kshetra has many vikaras. So these are from 6th and 7th slokams. From the 6th and 7th slokams we came to know that the Sankhya of the body, that means the body is divided into 26 parts in it. In the body is called Kshetram. In the body there are two Mahabhutas, Jivatma and Atma, and non-manifested inner entities are 9. The visible senses are 10, those are part of the physical body. The invisible senses are 5, and the total parts in the whole living body are 26. The 26 includes Atma, immortal soul also. So that way from the 6th and 7th slokams, we came to know about the Kshetram. What is Kshetram? What does it contain? And what kind of vikaras it has? All those things. Then from 8th slokam to the 12th slokam, the meaning was provided at only one place. So let us see what is that. He who wants to know Atma by the wisdom should not get the pride, hypocrisy, and must have peace, sincerity, non-violence, and have to worship the real gurus. He must be brave with self-control, without interest on the senses, without ego as I am. He has to think about the birth, death, old age, disease, and distress are transitory, that will come and go, without having any affection for wife or children or house or land, etc. He must have equality of mind on the pleasure and distress, without deviation from the devotion by doing the practice of yoga. He should have desire for living at the place where men do not move, and vicious detachment from the multitude of men, and has knowledge of spiritual wisdom. This is only the wisdom, else other matters are ignorance. So from this explanation we came to know that Maichananya Yogena Bhaktir Vyabhicharini. So here we came to know about Vyabhicharam, the deviation of the devotion. So there should not be any deviation in the devotion. You should have unique devotion on only God, not in anything else. So that's what we learned last week. Let's move on to the next slokam, that is 13th slokam. Let us see what is that. Gneyam yat pravakshyami yadnatva amrutamashnute anadi matparam brahmana sattanna saduchyate. So here Gneyam means knowable one. Gneyam means knowable one. That is why he is saying, I shall explain what knowable is. When you know that, ambrosia can be attained, the absolute soul can be attained. That is beginningless. So it doesn't have any beginning. That is supreme. That is why it is called Param. That is Brahman. He is the big. You should not say that is Sat or Asat. You should not say Sat means immortal, Asat means mortal. So the Gneyam, the knowable, is not Sat or not Asat. Let's dive deep into the explanation what Swami provided to us. So, if you take a field, if you take a field that will have boundary to it, when we reach the boundary, that means the destination is over. So you reached the destination. You reached the destination. When you just reach the boundary, that means destination is over. So wisdom also ends when you reach the knowable thing. So wisdom is gnanam. Gnanam will end when you reach the gnayam. So as the field has end with the boundary, as the field has end with the boundary, the way has end with the aim. So when you reach the aim, the walking way goes out. There is nothing left to walk. The wisdom has end with the knowable object. The knowable object is the gnayam. That will, when wisdom ends, that means you reached the knowable object. As the bank is the boundary to the field, so for every field there is a bank. That is the boundary. As the village is the aim to the way, so village ends. Village, the when you reach the aim, the way ends towards the village. So Paramatma is the knowable object to the wisdom. Paramatma is the Gneyam. The way that reveals the Paramatma is the wisdom. So when you know the wisdom, that is called Gnanam. When Gnanam is completely done, totally, so then you will reach the Gneyam. At last, Paramatma should be known through the wisdom. So through the wisdom, only Paramatma is known. Paramatma is called without origin, supreme, and Brahma. Who is Paramatma? He is origin. He is without origin. So he is without origin. That is why he said Anadi. And he is supreme. He is called Param. He is Brahman. He is the big. So he has no origin at all. That is why he is called Anadi. It is exceeding to all and exist as other. So it is called Param. So he is beyond us. He is beyond everything. He is beyond the nature itself. It is biggest than anything and is very first. So it is called Brahma. Paramatma can't be called as Sat or Asat. You should not say Paramatma as Sat or Asat. So we should know who is Asat and Sat. Somebody may ask that. Who is Sat and Asat? Who is Sat and Asat? Somebody may ask that. Let's know that matter. So both Sat and Asat exist inside the body. Sattu is spread whole body from head to toe, everywhere in entire body itself. It is giving the conscious power to the body. Because of that, there is a mobility in the body. Asat is also called Chit. Asat is also called Chittu. So that is stationary at one place. It stays at one place constantly. It does not expand or shrink. But whereas Sat will do that. If when child borns, it can be of 1 feet length. When child is growing and becomes bigger, maybe of 6 foot or 7 foot, 6 feet or 7 feet, then the Sat also increases along with the body. So there is a change in the structure of the Sat according to the body. Whereas Asat, it doesn't do that. So when Chit merges with Sat, that becomes Sat Chit, Sat Chit. So when the people enter into Brahma Yogam state, what happens? Their Chit is merging with Sat. They, then Sattu plus Chittu combinedly called Sachidanandam. In the Brahma Yogam state, he will be experiencing joy, experiencing joyful state, that is called Sachidanandam, also called Atmanandam. Um, so besides the knower and the not knower are calling the calling the Sat, which is Atma, as Asach, Sachu. So Atma is also called Sachu. So some people in Telugu language, many people know that is the word Sachu. So Sachu means Atma itself. So people who knew about Atma, they used to call Sat. The people who did not know, they are calling Sachu. That's what it is saying. Besides, the knower and the not knower are calling the Sat, which is Atma, as such, Sachu. So, knowers are calling Sattu, non knowers, the people don't know about Sattu, are calling Sachu. We learned that Atma exists by spreading over the body and it moves the parts of body by becoming the power. So with the conscious power is spread whole body. That power is provided by Atma inside the body itself. That's why body has the movement. So when Atma is providing power to whole body, if it does not provide to a particular part the power, the conscious energy, then what happens? That part does not work. For example, if you take hand, so there is a shoulder. So if Sattu is spread up to the shoulder itself, the conscious energy, if Atma did not provide energy to whole hand itself, so it's limited only up to the shoulder level only. So rest of the hand did not receive any power from Atma. What happens? So it will be, the hand will be hanging without any control of the body. So the person cannot lift the hand at all. That means the Sattu, the conscious energy, is not flowing through whole hand. So there is a loss of conscious energy in that hand itself. We also call he is paralyzed person. So he got paralysis. So he hand got paralysis. Similarly, if the whole body itself lost conscious energy, then body cannot move at all. It is called a dead body. So there is no energy at all. No life exists in the body. For example, in a cow, if the cow lost the conscious energy, in the previous days, in the olden days, people used to say, uh, cow has lost its sattu. Cow has lost its sattu. Nowadays, people are saying, uh, sattu of the cow has gone. Sattu of the cow is gone. That means cow is dead. Similarly, uh, with respect to the human person, if that person's conscious energy is gone, in ancient days they used to say, so and so person's sattu has gone. Now people are saying Sachu has gone. Sachu has gone. Like this, Atma is called Sachu by the entire people, but some persons only call it as Sat. Some persons call the Jivatma as Chittu, and some persons called Asattu. So Asattu is Jivatma, Sattu is Atma. Sachu is Atma. Sachu or Sattu is Atma. But both these two are not the Paramatma. So you should not say them to Paramatma. You should not point the Paramatma and say Sattu or Asattu. So he is not Sattu, he is not Asattu. So there are in your body there are Sattu, Asattu, and Paramatma. All three things are existing in that, and they have their own different um, works inside the body. Sat and Asat were born by the Paramatma. So both are born by Paramatma itself. So Paramatma doesn't have birth. Atma and Jivatma have births. So both born, right? So we are the Jivatmas do not know when we took first birth. That is why we don't know the origin, real origin. Paramatma is without origin. So we have births without origin. We have births without origin. As Paramatma is without the birth or origin, but Jivatmas have births but without origin. You see the difference. So, what is the knowing now? What is the knowing now? We have been hearing the word Anadi every day. So, every day we hear the word Anadi. We may hear the beggars cry here and there, do charity to the birth of Anadi or give the food to Anadi birth. Okay? So, in the previous days, the king, so we need to get more explanation on this. So in ancient days there was a king called, long ago there was a king called Trijata. So he spent lot as a king in his kingdom. So after that he came to know that he got realization in his mind that so animals, birds, breeze, so everything are living in the life, and there is no specialty in our life itself. When we compare with the animals, what makes the difference? There is no difference. I must have some speciality in my life. Then he thought that, oh, so knowing the Paramatma's wisdom is the best choice. I will have the specialty for that. Then immediately what he did, he went to the place where Chitravarna Maharshi was residing, and he knocked the doors, but doors were not opened. Then saint did not come outside. But the king Trijata did not say that, oh Maharshi, I am King Trijata, please open the doors. He did not say like that. So king called that, sir, reveal me the dharma of birth of Anadi. Anadi means without origin. And then second time what he called, do dharma as the person of without origin has come. He called he he called the Chitravarna Maharshi. Then Chitravarna Maharshi, the saint, said to his disciple that you ask the person who is calling us whether he needs charity or dharma. Which one is his choice? You go and ask. He sent his disciple to the to near the door. Then the disciple asked Chitravarna, asked the king Trijata that, do you want the dharma? Do you want the charity? Which one do you want? Then King Trijata replied, I am Trijata king. I do have many things in my life, vehicles, money, gold, everything I am I am having. I am not I am not here to take your gifts. I did not have dharmas which you have. You have dharmas, right? But I don't have dharmas. I want you to bestow me dharmas. I have birth which is without origin, but I do not know the origin. I want you make me without origin, without birth. After hearing the words of the king, Chitravarna saint got very happy and he revealed dharmas to the king. The saint said that the king who is Jivatma was Asat, the Atma which is conscious and also called Sat. And the Paramatma should be known that Paramatma is not a Sat, Paramatma is not a Asat. So he should be known by dharmas. That way, the Chitravarna saint explained, preached dharmas to King Trijata. So on that day, the great king who had entire things, he got everything right, asked for charity of dharmas by saying that he had birth without origin. But today, what is happening? The beggars also repeating the same, that word still remains the still remains at the beggars as a token, but now the beggars have been saying another meaning about the word as their desire is different. So the beggars desire is different, but they are saying different. They want only charity, they want only food or money or whatever it may be, but they don't need dharmas. That means in their feeling they need only charity, but they have been asking dharma. They are asking dharma, but internally they need charity. Dharma is not either in the asker or in the giver. So the one who gives something to the beggars, he doesn't have dharma. The beggar is not having any dharma to follow. So besides, they have been saying the word anadi birth with the meaning of destitute birth. So they think that they are in pure destitution, uh, pure destitution. That means they are being destitute. They are thinking in that way, but they have not been saying with the meaning of without knowing the origin of their birth. Now we can take the wisdom which reveals the real meaning. Now we can take the wisdom which reveals the real meaning. So we need to learn the wisdom which reveals the real meaning. Let us know below about the knowable matter. That means about the gnayam. So gnayam is nothing but Paramatma itself, right? Let us learn about that in the 14th slokam, what he is saying. Um, सर्वतः पानिपादं तत्सर्वतो अक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. This slokam is talking about Paramatma, absolute soul. 13th slokam also talking about absolute soul. Gnayam means absolute only. So after end of the wisdom, we have to attain the Gnayam. Gnayam nothing but Paramatma. Paramatma pervades everywhere and exists in everyone who has legs, hands, and eyes, face, and ears. So, since Paramatma is not a male, not a female, so we refer sometimes it as a male, sometimes it as a female. Usually it is written that he is or she or it is. If Paramatma is considered Purusha, if Paramatma is considered female, it is written as that is. If he is considered as Purusha, we write him as he is. If he is considered as female, he is written as it is, that is, like that. So you need not think other way wrong about this. So why we are calling Paramatma it, that, he, something like that. So the intention is that Paramatma is not a male, not a female at all. It is written for knowing about the Paramatma that it is not anything. He is not anything. Here the essence of this verse is to reveal the Prakriti and Purusha. The both are the Paramatma. When you combine together Prakriti and Paramatma, it is one single entity, right? One single entity, that means Paramatma is spread everywhere in each and every thing. That is why he is pervaded everywhere. So, as a single unit, we call him as Paramatma, one entity. When we go when we go deep and separate the things, like separate the nature and Paramatma, then they are separate. So all the living things, and also all the living things in this world, they have legs, hands, face, ears, eyes, everything, right? To their body, their physical body. The physical organs of the body are made with the Prakriti, nature. We learned before that Atma is the organ Atma is residing inside the body. It is spread whole body from head to toe, and it is the one which provides the conscious energy to the organs to move. So in this verse, it is said that the physical organs, he mentioned particularly the physical organs of entire living things and the subtle power which is inside of that organs are the Paramatma. If the Prakriti which is obvious and Atma which is subtle are seen together, the entire bodies in the whole are the Paramatma itself, right? That is correct. And all organs of body are the Paramatma. Every organ of the body is Paramatma. It must be known that the object which is known through the wisdom is spread over the world as living things. So the Paramatma, knowable object, Gneyam, is in all the living things. He is in all the living. All living things are belongs to him itself. Besides the Paramatma, which is object exists as. So that's in the 15th slokam. He talks about that in the 15th slokam. What is that? How he exists, how the absolute soul or Paramatma exists. We'll learn some more detailed information about him, that in 15th slokam. That we will do in the next session. Let us do Mangala Prardhana and end the session. Om Mangalam Gurudevaya Mahaniya Prabodhatmane Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Sadhurupaya Mangalam. Prabodharpanam to